How's it going, everyone? A lot of questions about where to donate or how to pay for a service. I don't really have a service yet. I did. I am consulting a guy, and things are going great. But it's just a consulting fee, and I'm helping him figure some trades out. But the best way to donate is through PayPal. It's probably the easiest way. I'm not sure how to get a Bitcoin tab up here yet. I'll see if I can figure that part out. But my cryptocurrency channel, another question was cryptocurrencies, one word slash or space prices. Cryptocurrency space prices. So there you have it. Other than that, um, I'm just kicking around ideas. So that first paid for video obviously didn't go over well, especially using YouTube, blocking out everyone outside the US. That wasn't cool. I'm not sure if there's blockers on or what's going on with that. But I got some other platforms that someone recommended I'm going to be looking into. The type of service I really want to get into is maybe like a monthly service, like Sluggo mentioned. Maybe something like $10 a month. We can all go into maybe a chat room together where we can talk and trade ideas. And I can do a little consulting for everybody. Something like that. I do want to write a book. I have an outline for a book that I want to get out there. And maybe some instructional videos on top of that I will charge for. But other than that, I'm just kicking around ideas. Some people got upset that they had to pay $2, and you know, I paid the lady at the cashier at the Mexican restaurant. I tip her $1, and she doesn't do jack shit for me. You know, it's just, you know, here's a tip. And you know, I was just kind of put back by people's comments about how they had to pay. And you know, it's just YouTube's atmosphere, so I don't blame them. They're just used to everything being free. So, and the only reason I want to start charging for things is I want to start branding my my strategies. I mean, right now all you guys know is three lines on a chart and some candlesticks. But you know, I want to start doing some consulting work for people. The client I have now is pretty satisfied so far. And we meet every morning for the first hour of trading, and then we have a review for 3 hours on the weekends. So it works out pretty well. Something like that I want to get into. If anyone's interested in something like that, just let me know. rustysmetals@gmail.com. But other than that, I'm just kicking around ideas. And I think I got a couple people so upset that they wanted to unsubscribe. Well, the videos are still free. Nothing's changed. I just wanted to start branding my product, and I'm just kicking it around. So sorry for those guys that had to get so upset, but it's just the way it is. Whatever. So, anywho's, let's get to it. See it. All right, so we got a head and shoulders top on the dollar. So far, it's being saved by the bell. Here's the weekly chart. Let's narrow it down just a little bit. You can see the gap down through support, and it made a nice little hammer and came back through. Now we're above the 8, so now we got support on the upside. We also have support from the previous lows and previous highs, which is that balance point I always talk about. And 13's coming down pretty steep. I'm not sure if it, so far it's not rejected. It came back into support. So I was looking for maybe a bump into the 8 and then get rejected. But right now it's being saved by the bell, and it's above support again. So we'll see what happens. But what is today? Wednesday. We have a couple more days of trading. S&P. Now this is the 2-bar pattern that started it all. We had a bearish retracement here, lower high, came through, bearish retraced into a new low. Didn't come down into support, so it turned around on a dime, hit resistance. Right now we got a double top into resistance, into previous lows. Double top on the close. It tried to go up, through, and got rejected. So far I have support on the 34 and the 8, but the 8 is being pulled down across from this action here. So let's see if price will go sideways and turn that 8 back across the 34, or is this the moment of the bearish retracement that I always talk about? Here's a bearish retracement there, and then it swung down all the way into resistance. So is this the bearish retracement? We had one bearish retracement there and then another. Double top has to be taken out, breaking into previous lows. Let's get above previous highs, where the next resistance is. One thing that I noticed for the week so far is the bullish piercing pattern coming off of the week. Opened down, closing all the way in. Right now we're at resistance, obviously. But if this closes 50% of the previous candle, we got a bullish retracement, or a bullish piercing. As it opens down, closes all the way in. So I'll have to keep an eye on that for the weekly close. Double top working. This started it all right here. 2-bar pattern, bearish. Dark cloud cover. Had a nice hammer in here that broke down. Now it's coming back into that reversal bar. The Dow, same thing. The 8's crossing over. Looks like the S&P is doing a lot better. I'm going bearish on it. I got the cross. I got the bearish retracement on the dailies. One thing to notice on the weekly on this one as well is the open down, closing in. Let's see if we can get into 50% and above. Closing at 50% doesn't help us. At 50% is resistance. Maybe not exactly, but it's pretty close. NASDAQ. NASDAQ looks what do you call that? An outside day. Open down all the way through. The bullish piercing pattern is in. It's got to close up there during the week, the end of the week. And we got 3 strong candles opening down and then following through. Right now I got a lower high on the close. It's above previous highs. Watch out below, as resistance might have been just a little too much right there. But so far the dollar's been saved by the bell. Let's see what happens. We got a double bottom here, double bottom. Stretch this real far back and then let it rip. So we'll see how that turns out. See if the VIX is turned around now. Not yet. Nice pop. Came all the way back into support. Let's get this thing running as well. All the way back into support. Let's see, crude. Looks like crude crossed the 8 on the daily. Let's get this crap out of here. I got the A, B bottom, and then a higher low. Nice hammer. Continuation into the next line of resistance, back in to support. Let's see if this rejection will come on in, or will it float on past? Nice little pop into the next line of resistance. I got support at 50, previous lows. I got resistance coming in right at 51.50, the next previous low. So I got rejected by the next line of resistance. Next one after that is 53. So let's get above 51.50 first. Nice hammer off that bottom, right across the 8. Oh, Shanghai, I thought this was going to take off. Looks like a nice whipsaw across the top there. Coming across the line of the short line of support here. So far a bounce. Not much of a bounce though. Yeah, I got dark cloud cover on the weekly. Let's see if it'll recover. I got a whipsaw forming already. Dark cloud cover on the candle. 2-bar pattern reversal. 2 more days of trading for the week. And that whipsaw is pretty definite now. It's got to hold support. It'll fall into the next range. Coming off that nice doji here, I was hoping for a breakout. Looks like it needs to come back into support and gather its legs one more time. That's what it looks like for the weekly close so far. 10-year. I got a 3 bottom, a triple bottom. I got a double top. 3-bar pattern here, crushed it. So far holding its own. It looks like it's getting rejected by resistance a little bit. Not much happening today on it. Triple bottom still holding. Watch out below if that breaks. Probably fall all the way back into 2. Gap just above, the gap support here just above 2. Doesn't look healthy. It looks like a bearish retracement's in and it started to double back. Came through, gap down, up, and over. Just filling the gap. Holding support. Previous highs, previous lows. It's at support. Watch out below. And you got a downward action here. Got resistance above, the cross is in. Let's see the weekly. If you ever have a problem finding support and resistance, just go look at longer term charts. Looks like it's coming back in. Triple bottom's got to hold. Double top's in play. Eesh. Lots going on with all these gaps. I would hate to trade this. Gap down into support, bounced into resistance, came back into support, gapped into resistance. Right now we got a cross down. Bearish retracements in, lower high. Looks bearish. Bearish retracements in, allowing it to fall on over. A little shout out to Maria, reminded me to follow the bouncing ball. Anyways, try to keep it simple, guys. Come on, follow the bouncing ball. I'm bearish on it, so we got a thin line of support here. Watch out for 19,000 and below. This thing's a mover. Let's take a look here on steel. So now I got a double bottom. Came into support. I got the cross here, bearish retracement there, came all the way through, breaking previous lows all the way down into 2-bar support. Boom, boom. I got a double top here. Let's see if it'll hit resistance first before it turns over. It's going to have to take another leg down, it looks like. Momentum is sharply coming its way. Very steep top. 2-bar pattern. I got support at the 34 coming in about 27, 50, 60, right around there. Previous lows, previous highs. Right around there. What is that? 29.40. Not much of a support line. I'm guessing it's going to come back into the emotional spot of 28. Pretty sharp drop from 32. Let's see what happens. Pretty bearish, obviously. We do have the double bottom, but it's coming in resistance for another bearish retracement. It looks like a flag forming into resistance. Little flag. Oh, that's not cool. So there's our flag. Bearish flag. All right, so gold is holding its own, allowing to the moving averages to come up. I was explaining to someone this morning to watch for gold to come back in as 8 is crossing the 34, and I call that the big splash. As the 8's creeping up, and then the price comes down to meet it, I call that the big splash, but there's no splash needed on this one. It's just going sideways, high-level consolidation. Watch for previous high breaks. We're getting close, guys. Getting close. A little tight in there. Trade inside that pattern. Let that 8 follow on up. That 13 should whip right across as well. High-level consolidation. I do have a lower high, so be careful as it could fall over into next lines of support. But it's holding its own. I figured a pullback was going to happen today. But it held its own. It closed positive. Broke previous lows and recovered. I'm proud of my gold. Let's look at the, let's take a, there we go. All right, so anyone notice the start of the new The new trend coming on the 60 minutes. I have a downward trend line here. It needs to break across. I have the AB bottom, the A, and then a lower B bottom. Creeping across. I got that reversal bar here, creeping across there. And a couple hammers. And then this pop, and that inverted, the pop, and then the close all the way in. That's the best buy you can get right there. The pop and the throwback all the way into support. Pop into support. It broke previous highs, came back all the way back into support within the hour. The next candle, pop, pop, pop. Let's get a previous high break on this. Well, we need to get above 1260. But this little pop here can take you into 1260. If you're trading the futures, it'd be a nice little move. 7 points. I can't remember. Is silver 25 points a point? $25 a point, or was it 50? I can't remember. Previous high break. Previous high break, flat top break coming across the 34 into support. Watch that break into resistance at 1260. One of these tries, it's going to get right over that 1260. Almost here. Got a nice move over the 34 on the 60 minute. Very proud of the gold. And people keep asking me, where do I anticipate gold and silver to be in a year? Well, if I knew that, I wouldn't be telling you guys. I'd be retired by now, some island. I got breaking into previous lows. I got to break previous highs. Well, if we get to that point, take the measured move of the pattern, take the length, okay, of the bottom to the break. That's your measured move. Once we complete the measured move, then we can talk. But that's just the way it is. I think reverse head and shoulders is actually 2.5 times. So in the long run, take another one and then a half of one. That being said, this monthly chart is the key and the reason why I keep doing these videos. It's because once we get a flat top break coming off of here, we will see a trend change that we haven't seen since 2009, I think it was. This trend change right here, 2009. When it popped, came into support, broke previous highs right here, that flat top break right here. That ran, here's a reverse head and shoulders, all right? Take the top at 1015, the bottom, 683. Let's just do it easily. Oh. There we go. So we go 1, 2, that one went up 3 times the last time it ran. All right, so take your measured moves, and once you get the first measured move, take your next measured move, see if it'll break into that I don't know what to say. Will it get there in a year, 2 years, 3 years? It'll run for a while. Once it breaks that flat top. That's why I'm doing these videos. I think the miners are going to be gangbusters. It's just a shame that we got a manipulated market. I mean, for God's sakes, JNUG's going to have a reverse split. There's no reason for that. It's a derivative of a derivative that I don't even know how they figure these things out. It's not a free market, that's for sure. So I got a double top at 1260. I need to take that out, run into the next line of resistance, and it probably won't break the first time. Remember, it'll probably break into resistance, come back into support, and then the third try over. So it could be another 6 months before we get over that spot. But that being said, the monthly is almost breaking into positive territory above that 8. So there's your answer. Where's it going to be in a year? It's going to be up. 60-minute chart. Let's get this thing rolling. Flat top break is at breaking into previous lows. It's almost there. 1253 to get us to 60. Let's look at silver. Silver's doing good as well. A little pump. It opened down. All right, right now I'm seeing a oops. On the daily chart, I'm seeing a reversal bar, double top, hanging man. It's got to do better than this. Take out that double top or we're going to be stuck coming on in. I thought it was going to come in today, but it recovered pretty nicely, making this reversal bar. So it doesn't help us. Another thing on gold, there was no splash as price didn't have to come into support. So hopefully it does what gold does and just goes across sideways. But you can see the 8 coming across now. Watch for a pullback as the 8 crosses the 34 to make that that splash. You can see how the price is overextended from its average. These averages are being pulled in the direction of price. So when it gets overextended like that, it usually pulls back and meets. But hopefully we can go sideways. Right now we're closing a lower high. And we'll just use that 8 as our line of support. Not much of a pattern. It's got a lot of work to do. Let's see, where are we at on the 60-minute? I don't know what's going on over here, a bunch of fat fingers. Could keep going. It's got plenty of support on the 60 minutes, so I don't see anything that's going to bring it down. Not on the short term. Previous high breaks, almost right there. Well, it looks a little top heavy on the 4 hour. It's way far away from its average. It's got to pull back. And the weekly. Weekly is a little pump over the 34 pretty nicely. So maybe a pullback as the 8 comes across. Sorry, everyone. A little gap in time here. I got distracted for a few hours. So now that we sit later in time, I got the dollar that opened up, and silver came down a little bit, so did gold. So what we're doing is waiting for a flat top break on silver. We got the left, the head, the right shoulder. Break that neckline. Shoot it on up. Let's look at copper real quick. Let's get this done. On a shorter term, you can see nice bounce off the support. Obviously, on the longer term, on the short term, you can see the flat top break where it needs to come. Either up and above or just a flat top. I want to get above previous highs at all costs, but that double top, triple top there needs to be taken out. Having a little struggles over the 34 on the daily, so that's the that's the chart I'd be watching. It looks like it's a little extended from the 8, so I'm guessing it's getting knocked back a little bit, coming back into the 8s. Not a problem. Hopefully it'll hold previous highs, previous lows, right in that area right there. Coming off that huge hammer and a huge W, which is very bullish. If we take out that top, it'll break the pattern on up. I imagine if it does that, it'll get over the previous resistance. Let's see, I got all this screwed up here. Coal needs to go up here, and let's look at coal real quick since we're at it. Coal! Nice job, coal. Straight out of that pattern. Right out of the pattern and take a ride. So far, so good. So there you go, coal. Coming out of the pattern. Weekly looks a little destitute as it's way below the 34. So maybe this could be a bearish retracement back into resistance. But definitely daily broke out. Can't go any shorter than that. You can see the head and shoulders top here. So let's break that shoulder line on the way up. There's your resistance on the way up. You also got previous lows, short-term resistance, previous lows, short-term resistance. Another low here, another low here. I think ultimately it needs to get above and beyond. A nice bottom pattern break. Ascending triangle off the bottom. Pretty hard not to spot that. Alright, so we did everything. Let's look at the miners. Looks like the miners came back into support. Now it's bouncing back out, doubling back. You can see it's below the 8 now, but they stretched that thing really far, and watch this thing, see if we can get over the 34 on the weekly, or on the daily by the end of the week. That's what I meant. Let's see how we're doing. And of course, we can have the downturn. That broke, came back into support, higher low. Now we got ourselves a pattern. Let's break that 34 on the upside. Pretty hard not to miss that. Nice large pattern from that downturn into resistance, got the opposing point, down into support, got the opposing point again. Now we got a pattern. Now we're in the pinch. Let's get outside that pattern. Trade it. Got a long downward trend, upward trend. We got 2 candles, reversal bar hammers coming off the bottom. You got a 3-bar pattern here. Got a 3-bar pattern here that hasn't confirmed on the upside yet, but nice down. Came stair-stepping into support, into resistance, back into support. Price is in a pinch. It's gonna happen one of these days. One of these days. And these are the weekly charts. So now Nugget is not above the 8, and either is the stupid JNUG. So lots of work to do on those two. Not sure the reason why either. I'm thinking JNUG's going to have a reverse split, so no one wants to touch it. At least the big boys. I'm still in it. I'm in it over here, I think. But I took a bunch of money out, so I'm not worried. I think I'm losing like $1 a point. So I'm down like 40 points. I'm just gonna keep it in here for the longer term. I was supposed to buy an option, but stupid Ameritrade is, I don't know. I don't even want to call and find out. Too many rules, too many regulations, too many dumbasses trying to tell me what to do. So JNUG on the 60, we need a little flat top break upward into resistance. Let's just call that resistance there. There we go, that looks better. Definitely came into a bottom. Where was that bottom? It's into previous lows, or previous highs, excuse me. Thank God it didn't come all the way back in. Probably would have cracked the pattern. The longer term pattern would have broke. I believe if they stretched it any further. There's the reverse head and shoulders. And then the throwback. It's just really drastic. Now nothing's confirmed yet because we are not above the 34. So anything could happen. Watch out below. We've got a small trend line upwards. But this looks pretty substantial. Stair step into support, and it bounced today pretty nicely. So I'm very hopeful for this to be the bottom, because we do have intermediate higher lows. I just need to get above the 34 for a weekly close. 779 on the daily, and on the weekly it's that 8. I hope you guys realize the interchangeable lines. The 34 trend on the daily is the 8 on the weekly. It's like magic. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. We'll call it a day because lots going on here. Bitcoin's doing a double back. It's got an outside day for the weekly. If it closes up in there. Daily, you can see the breakdown, and then the AB bottom, A, pulled it back, A, B, over the 8, into support a couple times. Watch a flat top break on the top side here. 1062 and above, flat top, previous breaks. And then you got resistance at this double top, into previous lows, right where the 34 is. Let's get above the 8. Always keep above the 8 on the weekly, which is the daily 34. So if you're looking at the daily and you're like, oh, where's my trend? Get above the 34. Looks like it came into support. Now it's doubling back. You got an outside day so far. Let's do it. I was thinking Bitcoin's going to come down a little bit harder than that. But that's a nice throwback into support, and then it's like the shuttle leaves the atmosphere, has no resistance, and then it falls back in, and then they pull it as far as they can and they let it go, so they can get it's like a spring load, up and back, bam. Definitely bullish, definitely a long-term cup and handle. Remember, 1160 is the break. Previous highs, once we get above previous highs, we can use that as our support. And then all we have to do is take out that throwback. Easy deasy. Let's see what else we got going on here. Let's look at AG real quick, why not? Yeah, what's wrong with these things? AG did such a great job not having to go
two legs down like gold and silver did. It went sideways. It consolidated, very nice pattern, reverse head and shoulders, but it broke it did not hold the line. It broke down. I'm screaming manipulation, but you know how do you prove such a thing? There's definitely a high demand for silver and gold, but we're trading paper contracts on these indexes, so I'm just gonna keep it there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to my rants, raves, and reviews. Let me know what's going on, and I appreciate everyone that's following me around. Just trying to figure out what I need to do. That's all. Wasn't trying to discourage anyone or kick anybody out or piss anybody off so they unsubscribe and get all huffy. Wasn't trying to do anything like that. So calm down. Everything's free still. See it.